Hello there, I'm Dr. Atkin, chiropractor and master herbalist at Family Focus Chiropractic, and today we're going to talk about migraines and their connection to the sphenoid. Now, for all you migraine sufferers out there, I don't really need to describe a migraine much, right? Now, just to be clear, we're not talking about headaches here. Lots of people get headaches. I'm going to tell you about how to get rid of headaches at some future blog post, but today we're talking about migraines. Migraines are intense head pains, often located more so on one side of the head than the other. These are the kind of migraines that cause you to want to curl up in a ball, hide under the sheets, and turn all the lights off, and almost in many cases, unfortunately, wish that you were dead because the pain is so intense. For some people, they happen a couple of times a week, maybe a couple times a month, or a couple of times a year. Either way, migraines are incredibly painful. Now, there's lots of wonderful things that can be done. I'd love to talk about the connection with the atlas, the top bone in your neck. There's lots of herbs and natural remedies that come to mind as a master herbalist. But today we're going to talk about the connection that migraines have to a bone in your skull called the sphenoid. Now, about 100 years ago, some genius that actually created all the anatomy textbooks at that point decided that the sphenoid was no longer going to be considered a vertebrae. In fact, it used to be considered a vertebrae in your spine. You have the very top bone in your neck, the atlas. You can kind of touch it right up underneath the base of your skull there. Well, right on top of that is a bone called the sphenoid. Now, the sphenoid is much bigger than a vertebrae. It goes clear throughout your entire skull. In fact, it connects and touches every other cranial bone in your skull. However, to really show you the sphenoid, I'd have to cut my head off right like that in that kind of a section. And you know, I know, crazy as it sounds, I tried to avoid cutting my head or anybody else's head for that matter in that manner, but that's kind of where it's at. It's the bone that your brain sits on. So your brain's sitting on this bone that goes all the way through your skull right like this. And really the only place that you can actually touch that bone from the outside is right here, right behind your eyes, right in an area of the head called the temple. Now, when people get migraines, is it no surprise that they're rubbing those areas? Because innately, it's your body's attempt to try to get that bone back in position. What happens is that bone can rotate. In fact, it actually articulates or connects with the occiput at the back of your skull. And so one thing that I have found in our office, we do a lot of cranial adjusting. We check and adjust these cranial bones, very safe, not a whole lot of force or pressure being used, but we gently realign that sphenoid bone. We shift it so that it takes pressure off the skull and the head in certain ways that in many cases has relieved the pain of a migraine. In fact, as people come in and get their sphenoids taken care of, along with other parts of their spine and nervous system, it's incredible to watch the frequency and intensity of their migraines go down and down and down. For some people, it's a 50% improvement, which, believe me, I've talked to enough migraine sufferers to know that that's a really big deal. Other people, their migraines have gone away completely, or they happen so infrequently, that they hardly even notice it anymore. So if you're suffering from migraines, or if you want to be a lifesaver for somebody else who's suffering from migraines, let them know that they need to get their sphenoid checked. That's what we do in our office. We check the cranial bones, the sphenoid, all other parts of the spine and nervous system so that we can get things functioning optimally so that we can put your body in a position where it can do the healing and it can take care of some of these problems. So if you need to get your sphenoid checked, give our office a call. Can't wait to talk to you soon, and have a wonderful rest of your day.